Hello, everybody. Well, here it is. The long-awaited, not sequel, more like a spin-off, more like, of Eryn Refrain Chord. Basically, everybody, a little disclaimer before. Okay, much like you know how basically this game was made on an even tighter budget than the main game, which is sad. When you
as possible.
As a result, there is no English dub in this one. Just to give you an idea.
Let me guess. Per the course, amazing anime OP, incredibly cheap elsewhere.
Even the anime OP is cheaper because at least for Advent Dark Forces, anime OP actually had actual animation. No, as in like an actual anime. Some little bits here and there. It wasn't much, but it was some little bits here and there. This one goes back to the traditional compile heart style of just having the sprites positioned to make anime poses and shit, basically.
Oh, this has got to be one of the weirdest trajectories I've ever seen. They started off with a modest first game, then I guess upped the budget for the remake of Advent Dark Force, only to go to this.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
Trust me, you'll see. Trust me, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. So basically, everybody, you know what? If I decide to do the same thing, you know what? We're going to cut costs on our production, and we're going to make this a low-budget commentary, just like the game itself. As a result, I had to fire Shiroi from this playthrough so we can spare money on her budget for VAing. Because, sorry guys, but this playthrough unfortunately has to be produced under tight constraints, budget-wise. So, unfortunately, we need to cut our losses. Sorry guys.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even joking. We can't even afford any food or drink for this playthrough. The only drink we can have is water.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, everybody, what you're seeing here, what you have here, is a low-budget playthrough made cheaply, which I felt was appropriate because if Compound's not going to bother spending money, why should I? So,
not to worry, guys. I'm sure, as we all know, cutting costs everywhere always guarantees success.
Well,
isn't that right, Superman 4?
All right. So let's actually properly start. All right. So basically, I'm playing the game. I'm playing the PS4 version on my PlayStation 5, which means it has faster load times and a flawless 60 FPS.
And made with Unity.
Oh yeah, Sting is a developer who works with Compile Heart and makes simple strategy RPGs.
Sorry, we can't stream this game over the internet.
I skipped the OP because we're going to see it later in the game itself, so might as well. All right, so let's let's have the voice acting on because we still want to hear how the Japanese voices are. Why not? While we're at it, so I'm going to turn off the vibration as usual, and that's about it. There's not.
Hey, that actually makes me wonder. Assuming that this is a translation of the Japanese stuff, do they even keep some of the accents or mannerisms in the dialogue?
No, the translation itself is still the same. Galdo still has the Canadian mannerisms. The translation still follows the same basic aspects, although there are some things about the translation that I can definitely tell there was a difference in direction compared to the first game, because there's some jokes that were clearly added by the translation team that which is something that let's just say I feel like the translation of the original game was probably more faithful in some ways, because there's some jokes in here that feel out of place compared to, for as bad as the jokes in Advent Dark Force could get, they didn't feel out of place. There's some jokes considering the tone of the game still, but some jokes that I will mention over the course of the game do feel like a bit out of place. Anyway, I'm going to start a new game plus. I'm going to transfer character levels, fairies, and money. And
I was about to ask, what are you transferring from? Like to a different save
file? From my completed save file.
You're not particularly used to these Java, but people who play games like Tales of series knows this kind of type of new game class.
Mm-hmm.
I guess to give it a fair point, I do like the opening menu music.
I actually like. Oh, okay, hold on, let me read. Long ago, the people were given knowledge by the goddess, and civilization flourished. They built towers stretching towards the heavens, and weapons so powerful they could have peace. I wasn't done, game. Ages have passed since then. Our story begins with a young man named Fang who wields a fury. A special weapon houses the power of. I wasn't done, game. Like,
Also,
to be the micro machine man to do.
no, seriously. Like, you didn't even give me time to read that shit.
wait a minute. I think I see what they're doing. It's like, oh, you thought this would be like how the original went, but no. Here's something that changes up it. At least, I'm guessing that's the only plausible reason as to why they made it that you can't read that text in time if you're reading normally.
No, I'm sorry. If you're gonna put text on screen for me to read, at least leave it there for a good amount of time so I can actually read it. Like, I have to basically speed read that shit.
My best guess is like, well, this is essentially the game mixing things up, since, again, that's how the original started, but this just to show it that this ain't your granddaddy's fairy fencer F.
Also, Sherman wants to fairize with Eryn. Eryn wants to fairize with Sherman, and Sherman wants to kill Fang. Okay.
Yes. Well, remember, this is in character for him from what we saw in the original game, to be fair,
no, again, my question is this like a dream sequence, or are we in medias res?
In medias res, yes.
That
thing is,
said,
that's the thing, Jova. If you trust me, if you're intrigued by this whole what's happening now,
where is this going?
let me tell you right now, Jova. It goes nowhere, and the game will not do anything with it. Again, in true Fairy Fencer F fashion.
I will say this though, like, clearly you need to have played the original to get what's so special about this.
I'm gonna get into that in a moment. Yeah, let me just explain the gameplay. Basically, unlike the main game, Refrain Chord is a strategy RPG. It's a very basic one at that. Basically, you can just move your character to wherever the blue spots are, and after that, you can use an attack. Every time you pick an attack, the screen will tell you how many spaces does the attack cover, what it does, all that good stuff. For example, I can choose to attack either Sherman or that mage from the position I'm at, because I can attack in 4 different directions. Again, very basic tactical RPG shit. This is basically let me put it this way. There you go. See, and I'm going to use S Flight Edge on Sherman because the objective of this battle is to defeat Sherman specifically, and that ends the battle for me.
Noticeable change in game.
So basically, if games like Final Fantasy Tactics or whatever are too complicated for you, then this is for you. This is like basically like if you're just trying to maybe have your first strategy RPG or tactical RPG you prefer, this is a good point to start, I guess, gameplay wise, because yeah, the gameplay is very basic, like very basic.
Like a
basic fencer.
Okay. But yeah, the weird thing is, okay, if you played the original, you'll know that this is a quite noticeable departure from how the original's
that's the thing, Jova. This game does not newcomer friendly whatsoever. This game definitely expects you to have played the first game.
Which, from what you told me, gets a little weird. That said, I have no idea who this girl is, but I get the
again, I guess this
feeling
initial sequence is where to build this mystery, like, oh, who are these people? What's going on? How did we got here?
Yeah.
It appears that she is doing something with idol music.
Yeah, this was all over. I do remember seeing that in the marketing.
Yes.
Apparently, a bunch of new characters are heavily tied into performance and music.
The new female character. The new female character is called Fleur, as it's flower in French for those who don't know, and she's voiced by Yui Ishikawa. In fact, I'll say this: the main theme, which is the OP song, that's performed by her, and it's also the song that we're hearing right now. I actually really like this theme. I actually think this is the best Fairy Fencer F music track I've heard so far in the series as a whole. So.
Sherman.
Actually,
still dies.
It's actually Fang.
And Fang dies. Dwayne, did you write this?
Yeah, fuck Fang. I just killed him off.
But wait, hold on.
All right, and now we cut to somewhere in the forest, I guess.
His life flashing before his eyes.
Wait a minute. Is that
No,
cloaked
no.
figure from
Before,
the
no, before you
original?
ask, no, it's not the same cloaked figure from Avatar Dark
We
Force.
don't have. Again, Andrew was the girl, but again, we
No, but even the old man tail, like I checked, the silhouette is different. This is a new character, and guess what, Jova? Just like just like the silhouette characters from Avatar Dark Force, we'll never find out who this guy is. By the way,
What?
No.
Then what's even the point? Is he
I don't
supposed to be a
know.
mysterious-
he
supposed to
he
be a
shows up here.
mysterious narrator?
He shows up here, and then he shows up in the after credits scene to post another sequel hook that probably will never come. So. I don't understand what's with this series where they insist on providing mysterious cloaked figures, teasing sequels that never come.
Well, I gotta say, the Master of Masters is doing his usual thing of being a dick in the off time.
If we somehow get another game after this, is the game going to be so cheap that there's like no voice acting at all?
Nah, to be fair, Compound Heart always has Japanese voice acting in the entire of their game, so it's part of their standard. So I get the feeling even they wouldn't go that far. I think the main cause of the low budget for this is the lack of dungeons. For example, okay, now here's the actual OP song. It's called Notes of Faith, and it's performed by Yui Ishikawa, aka the actress who plays Fleur.
Yeah, to give it credit, the music I've been hearing so far seems pretty good. The menu music,
the main menu theme is once again composed by Nobuo Uematsu. So when they go to, they drag Uematsu back in here to once again compose one track for this thing. One.
Easiest paycheck, I guess.
I guess Nobuo Uematsu said, "Sure, anything to help stave off the retirement reaper."
Yeah, and they also got Yoshitaka Amano to once again design a new logo that we saw earlier. Yeah, I actually do like this song. I actually think this is way better than the OPs we saw in the original in Avatar Dark Force, to be honest with you.
Hey, I remember you guys from the original game. It's noticeable because they don't give the original characters their own titles, just newer characters, I guess.
Yeah. These are Fang, Eryn, and these guys.
You see, we've decided to trade in our title as Warriors and Heroes of the Land. Instead, we'll be taking up an idle career for this game, if this opening is anything to go by.
Super special, awesome, extreme anime intro. By the way, I forgot to say that at the beginning.
Yeah, honestly, it's not even that. Can you even call it anime? It barely even moves.
And I'm guessing that this sword in particular will be a very
Okay,
important
I guess it's
one
time for the return of the running gag since Dwebs said that. Dwebs, I'm sorry, but on our budget, we can only afford this. Sorry.
It's like the beginning of Star Trek Generations.
Chapter 1, A New Beginning.
Where everything on the Enterprise will have been ready in the next Tuesday.
And because this series is completely creatively bankrupt, we start once again with Fang sleeping in a dungeon cell. Because we have no creative ideas whatsoever. So, yeah. You know what's the fun part? Trust me, this is not a retelling of the original scene. This is a scene that happens after. So Fang, after stealing bread and getting himself arrested, he somehow got arrested again. So that's the thing. As we're going to learn in a moment later, when Eryn comes to save him again, this is not a retelling of the original prison scene. This is a new scene that happens after in this version of the story.
So, yet again, a reason you will need to have played at the very least the original game to get this.
Since there's going to be a lot less voice acting from us this time, I decided to make liberal use of the auto feature, which I didn't use in the original game.
Oh my god, it's
It's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a minute, hold on. It's not just back. I think it's remixed.
No, it's
not, Joe. I looked at the sound test because it's going to sound test. The Carefree Man was actually not one of the tracks that was remixed for this game.
I have like a almost idiosyncratic reaction, knee-jerk reaction, where I hear is I need to grab a bottle of alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, I even included it in my playthrough of one of the FIFA The Journey.
So the joke here. Go on.
To be fair, the problem was not the music itself, it's what we associate the music with. Like, I feel like the music itself is
That and the fact that the music plays all the time.
Yes. But yeah, also what it's associated with is some of the
It's the same problem.
moments.
It's exact same problem with the tea time music from Time and Eternity.
Yeah.
Also,
Maybe on its own for a comedic moment it's harmless at worst, but because the game hammers it into your skull all the fucking time, it becomes obnoxious.
Yeah.
also, who's he talking to?
He's talking to a
Is
bug.
he talking to us?
No, he's talking to a bug too, as we're going to learn in a moment.
Oh, okay.
The joke here is that he's
Noe finally became reincarnated as a bug. Congrats!
Sorry, Jova. That's not what it is at all. It's a different bug.
I
But
guess a recapping for of the events of the original game.
yeah, the basic. No, that's the thing, Tail. That's you'd
Well,
think.
the initial events of the original game.
That's the thing, Tail. You'd think this was this game's retelling of the way the original game starts, right?
What Fang is saying to the bug, I guess.
Yeah.
He's literally telling what happens at the beginning of the game.
So I guess that's meant to be a recap for the newcomers, but that's still not great because it still doesn't introduce the characters. Because trust me, when we get out of here, the entire party is already there waiting for us. So, and the game does not really reintroduce the characters. So this is not newcomer friendly at all, I assure you.
And remember, the Sherman being the bad guy was supposed to be a twist in the original anyway, so showing him as the bad guy at the start is, well, if they're trying to psych us out with him being the bad guy again.
Tropes made the argument that people who accidentally stumbled into the evil god and evil goddess routes were taken then back by the fact that Sherman turned to be a villain because they left that route for last.
Okay.
This whole part is gonna be Fang.
Thank you, Dibs. Thank you, Dibs. Allow me to help you. Here's the first problem that Refrain Chord Refrain Chord that has that to this credit the original game did not have. The cutscenes go on and on and on and on. I'm not kidding you. There's so many cutscenes in this game that take 10 minutes. What could to tell something that could easily be told in 5 tops. See,
Okay, so
I get it, game.
we're-
The joke is that he's dumb and he's talking to a bug. We get it. You don't need to prolong this any further than you. Just get Eryn in here now, so the plot can move forward, please.
So apparently the
Eryn's,
reason we're so apparently
Eryn's
the
running late for
reason we're so apparently the reason we're here is because Lola told us that there's a Fury here.
I'm not kidding you guys. I'm not kidding. While I'm recording this game, I literally have my phone on my end where I can watch something while the cutscenes play. The cutscenes go on for so long, I'm genuinely start watching something else while the cutscene is playing because I am so bored because the cutscenes go on.
Sorry, go on.
Go on.
I'm particularly fine with it so far.
Sure.
As for the voice acting of Fang, might as well judge the Japanese voice actors.
Yeah, I was about to say, in case you're wondering, if I recall correctly, there hasn't been any particular. Oh no, there has been one recast. I know about that, but it's from a character we are not gonna see for a long time. So basically the rest of the party is basically the same as in the original game. I can tell you from testing, because I checked also and played a bit of the original game, I can tell you that I can say that the idea Factory actually is trying to get people who sound closer to their Japanese counterparts, so there is that.
Yeah, the only major difference being Keiji Tanga's Fang, where the voice actor clearly told him to sound distinctively different from the Japanese guy.
Yeah, with Keiji Tanga, the regular tone of voice for Keiji Tanga is fine, but the voice direction told him to sound extremely cool.
Oh my god, I don't
That's
give
why
a
he
shit
don't
about
say
your...
something like, "Juno."
Now he's going on about ramen. What does...
Finish the double XL.
Hey, Drebs, allow me to take from one of my favorite movies from your country. Get on with it. Yes, get on with it. Like seriously, he's still talking.
Well, you see, there's such a long-winded, dramatic story as to how
And
he ended up.
get used to this, guys. Get used to this, guys. This game loves to hear itself talk. It loves to hear itself talk.
Okay. On the one hand, I could maybe see the sort of stuff being done tongue-in-cheek, like something off of Konosuba, which, yeah, in hindsight, I get the feeling that Fairy Fencerev...
Hold on, Jova. No, I don't want to hear more. Shut up. So go on,
Again,
Jova.
Oh, well.
that's the thing, Jova, because Pedro already told us the punchline. What the game is trying to say is basically having this exposition dump, because that's what it is, and the player, assumes, oh, is he talking to Eryn, to ourselves, or anything?
There you
There you
go.
go, and the punchline is that he's talking to a bug.
Spoiler alert! Yeah, that's not the kind of joke that we had in the translation for the first game. The whole internet lingo humor. The original game's English translation didn't do that. Why did the translators for this one decide to throw in internet terminology?
Did Anthony Birch sneak in when nobody noticed?
Like, go back to the original game. Never at any point do they say something like "spoiler alert" or "unsubscribe" or whatever else they say in this game.
I think they may have had some modern
Okay.
vernacular, but
Okay, to be fair, there's one point where they do. There's one point where Lola sells a product called AMA, which is meant to be Ask Me Anything. So that technically wasn't, but it wasn't. But to be fair, that also can be used to describe non-internet usage of that term. To be fair. Yeah, and
Also, what's up with the sprites bobbing up and down?
That's what I think also in the original Jova.
well, specifically Advent Dark Force.
It's to simulate the movement so they don't have to be staticky.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I really didn't. Okay. I recall. Okay, yeah, I guess there were some points where they bobbed up and down, but I didn't
I guess
remember it
the
being
new
this
thing about the
constant.
presentation is that for a change, instead of having the sprites both in the same screen, we're having this back and forth, it gives the simulation of 3D. I guess there is that.
Also, I guess to give them credit, I don't recall the hair moving when they bobbed up and down, so I guess
Maybe
that's
it's slightly
an
improved
improvement.
from that, but I argue it's not that much in case.
So yeah, Eryn is of course now teasing him. Blah, blah, blah.
I guess the reason it catches me more off guard here is that it feels more pronounced here than it was in the original. I mean, Advent Dark Force, anyway. But yeah, okay, I guess to give the voice actors credit, so far they sound fine, and yeah, like Tio mentioned, it does seem like the English cast were pretty much, for the most part, a good translation, sound quality-wise.
Yeah. Which again, don't take that for account. A lot of times it's not a possibility, unfortunately.
Yeah. So basically, Fang got in trouble because he lost his wallet and ended up in
And
jail.
wanted the
again.
ramen, yes.
Yes. See, we just finished telling everything the player needs to know in just 3 seconds, and the game took its sweet ass time just to tell that.
I get the
Because
feeling
they
that
thought it
that's
was funny.
I get the feeling that's supposed to be the joke. Again, like, my diagnosis of the original is that it was trying to be a more serious Konosuba.
Pedro, you know what they're doing? They're skronking us.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh God!
From Shell, I quoting Urban Dictionary from the Jove Spoon, he's mentioning his review of Warrior Number 1. From Shel Silverstein's short theater play, No Skronking, to annoy someone to the point of madness.
Without realizing it.
Yeah.
But we're only at the first part. Damn.
Did they now?
So question: how will we know when we have voice?
Well,
lines
you're
to
able
have?
to hear dibs when...
Simple dibs. When the voices, when you remember how in our playthrough of Nier Gestalt, the PS3 version, there's a lot of scenes where the characters just do a simple grunt instead of a fully voiced line. Those are the times when you were supposed to voice act in this game, because this game also does that.
Again, even the original Advent Force had the scenes, like skits where the characters were not voiced.
A rice ball? Don't you mean a jelly-filled donut?
No,
We're not doing that shit. We're not doing that shit.
In terms of referencing that, I prefer the joke that Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge did. You see this rice bowl? Now it's a burger, and now it's a cheeseburger.
It was total harassment? I don't think you know what that word means.
Well, that's the thing. According to also what Pedro told me, while it was present also in Advent Dark Force, Fang's new hobby for this game in particular is victim blaming.
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
So this is an early taste of that.
Oh, don't worry, Taylor. We're about to get one of my personal worst traits of Fang that he has in this game that's new.
Dreads to think.
My God.
Basically, Eryn's saying, okay, you'll have to do anything I say, otherwise I won't bust you out. Alright, there's an upcoming line that I'm going to question in a moment. Wait for it. Yeah.
Is this song still going?
Yeah, it's still goes. But get used to this, Webs. This game loves to hear itself talk. Anyway.
I think it was referring to the
He was
music.
talking about the music.
Oh, the music? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dwebs, you will love. Again, to repeat one of my jokes that I said to you in the original playthrough, Dwebs, you will love this track. Wait, I know you're not actually a sadist? What? Okay, hold on. Let me check the backlog. So where did the context, with the context that makes that line make sense? So what the heck? Why are you smiling at that? You look creepy. So Fang, would you say you're willing to do anything I say? I really don't like the face you're making right now, says Fang. Then she laughs. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, okay, hey, quit messing around and get me out of here. And then he says, I know you're not actually a sadist.
Don't try and force it.
Well, the line
okay.
that he says before, like that Eryn says before, that she questioned if Fang actually enjoys her basically giving dirty talk.
Basically, what she's going for is kind of that femme fatale persona.
Having a
for
power
Fang's-
move on him.
Yeah, and Fang's basically saying, look, I know you're not actually like that. Quit trying to pull the act, essentially.
I guess. It's just really weird phrasing.
Open the stair door!
So basically, remember how Fang always treats Eryn badly in the original game? Well, she's now forcing
Eryn
it.
wants them to be partners.
Yeah. From now on, you and I partners. We're both equals. All that shit, basically. So promise me, and I'll let you out.
Oh, he's Steve Austin now. What?
Yeah.
I do like this actress, but I do have to say I do miss Erica Mendes because I think Erica Mendes did a really good job in this role. In fact, guess what? In fact, what's the interesting thing that I also found out? A lot of the Western Refrain Chord fans that I saw reviews of actually really miss the English VAs. So.
I don't know what to tell you. I cannot even speak for my country because I'm pretty sure a very small percentage of people here even know about this game.
Yeah, would you rather stay here?
If you're nuisance.
He says with gritted teeth.
Yeah, fine.
I'll admit, I kind of miss the English VAs too. Like, I feel like, again, hearing that they were pretty much on point with how these characters would sound as English.
Okay.
Like Dad, it didn't even get the Yokai Watch treatment, where at least the cast was a bit cheaper, but they still were English voice actors. But no, it's not even that.
Okay, see, here's the thing. And now that he's free, we're about to reveal another new character trait of Fang exclusive to this game that makes me immediately have a revolting reaction. So
please enjoy.
Well, let's see.
Yeah. Goodbye, Bugs.
Yeah, now let's not take a look at what he does.
I'm free.
Oh yeah, about that.
Ashes off.
Dread to think.
So not only is he still calling her servant, he hits her. He hits her.
Why?
Because the game thinks because the game thinks this is funny. Let me remind you, this is supposed to be our hero and protagonist.
Okay,
God, and I thought
that
bit in the first Great Ace Attorney game was awkward.
Okay. On a generic level, Fang being essentially the deconstruction of your typical plucky, JRPG hero, but in reality is a slacker and kind of an asshole. We already got that from the first game. It's just that we didn't have this specific kind of thing.
Go on, Jova.
Okay. I can see what they're going for. The idea that, well, again, trying to be like a more serious Konosuba, essentially. These are heroes that are not how you would expect heroes to act. what Fang did there was essentially retaliation for Eryn acting the quote-unquote sadist and essentially blackmailing him into
No,
saying
hold on,
what
Joe, I have
she
to touch
wanted
you.
him-
No, Eryn, don't give in. Don't give in to the abuse. What are you doing? Don't give in. No, Eryn, no!
Anyway,
She's
if I
gone,
may.
Pedro, sorry.
Oh. Sorry.
She's
Go on.
gone where we can't follow.
Okay, so the way the story is going is like, well, Eryn essentially blackmailed Fang before letting him out, and Fang essentially retaliated for that, essentially in the anime comedic beatdown way that you usually see girls do on guys.
Like what Renoir did to Irving in Final Fantasy VIII.
Now, okay, I hesitate to call it abuse as opposed to comedic anime shenanigans because, oh, she did something bad, so he retaliates in kind, you know, sort of the kiss, kiss, slap, slap kind of relationship you see, which is not necessarily good. I just hesitate to call it abusive.
See, the reason I called that is because he hits her right as he calls her servant, though. That's my problem.
Okay. I guess the deal is that technically they are servants, but that is a bad thing to call attention to.
Yeah.
Kind of like when an isekai makes a harem out of slaves. And that happens way too frequently. So yeah, I can definitely get why you kind of have to tug at your collar with that one. Like, I don't think that's what they were going for, but yeesh.
I'm gonna cut the shit at the root to draw, but no matter where you analyze it, it just wasn't a funny moment to me.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
if
I agree.
Yeah, even if it was, even if you wanna say, even if you're someone who's not bothered by that, it's still not funny. It's not charming. It's not in any way even remotely endearing. So it just fails regardless.
Speaking of which, so I know that there are fans, but I'll admit, while it may have been tough to find out what people feel about Advent Dark Force, I have not really been able to find like any major sect of what people think of this
I can
game.
Wishing Tikal, who did enjoy the first game, she have made a review as well as a playthrough of this game, and she thought it was okay, but she didn't like this nearly as much because she thought the story was weaker, the new characters were weaker, and she also misses the English VAs.
And what did she think of the gameplay? Because again, I gotta say, if you were expecting a sequel, like I was, given the fact that Advent Dark Force, okay, assuming that Evil Goddess route is the true route, because that's the only one with that stupid sequel hook. But no, completely different game we are thrust into. Now, again, it's not the worst start. The music's good. I am a bit weirded out by the gameplay, but it has room to maybe improve. The dialogue is
Here's the
good old Fairy Fencer, potentially for the better or for the worse.
I will say this, Jova. If you're not feeling the gameplay yet, then you're not gonna gonna change, because this is it. This is all the gameplay is. The gameplay of this game is just the combat, the tactical combat. There's no dungeons. There's nothing really. It's just either visual novel segments or this tactical combat. There's nothing else to the gameplay.
Wow.
That's the thing. Again, that's the thing, Jova. Again, it falls back to the cutting of the budget. You see, where they cut the budget in was in the gameplay department, because now we don't even have dungeons. Now it's just either cutscenes or combat. Cutscenes or combat. There's literally nothing else to this game gameplay-wise. So, there you go.
Wow, those if this game's cut so many corners, if it went any further, there would be no corners left in the world.
And so, our epic quest to return to the lands of wherever Fairy Fencer took place commences.
Yay. See you, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.